Bullet Club.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time with us. This is Leanne Presents. I'm Leanne, I'm hosting this video today, and I'm joined by Alan, who is currently doing maths. Because that's what we do, apparently. As you've seen from the title card, we're here today with our reactions to the most recent AEW Premium Live event. No, it's the other one, pay-per-view. What's WWE done to me? PPV, Revolution, which took place last night, as we're recording this, on Sunday the 3rd of March in Greensboro Coliseum, North Carolina. So if you've been with us watching our videos for a while, you know that we'll have done our predictions previously to show what we thought was going to happen, and then in this video we are reacting to what did happen. So we'll put a link somewhere on the screen to our predictions if you want to check them out first. Otherwise, please stay with us. Although, a warning, if you haven't seen Revolution yet, this video is obviously going to be heavily spoiler-filled. So if you are planning to watch it, go and watch Revolution first and then come back and join us. All right, let's get going. So we had a few things happen on the 0 hour before Revolution itself started. We begin with the 12-man tag, which was between, there's a lot of names, Private Party, so Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, along with Willie Mack, who they're trying out to be their third trio in Private Party, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh, and they're accompanied by Sanjay Dutt and Karen Jarrett, and they are against the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, which is Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, Billy Gunn, Austin Gunn, Colton Gunn, and Switchblade Jay White. Yeah, it's really awkward. It was awkward enough before, and now it's more awkward.
Don't mock the Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
It's awkward. This was a really good match. Very much enjoyed. It was a great opener, something to warm the crowd up, but it wasn't like a throwaway match. There was still like storytelling within there between the teams, which is great. Some highlights that I had was, obviously we've got Jeff Jarrett, who does his strut sometimes. Yeah. And there was a moment when he was doing his strut and you got the wide camera angle and you could see the whole of that team doing the strut alongside, which is quite fun. I enjoyed that. It was interesting for a Jeff Jarrett match because there wasn't a lot of interference from the outside. There were little moments. But
Sanjay tried, yeah.
Sanjay tried. There was a small moment with Karen Jarrett, but nothing major, which is quite refreshing, I think, for their matches. Excuse me, I think I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. The other thing I picked up on was Willie Mack, who's trying out for Private Party. Just in comparison to Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, he's just so slow. As soon as he started doing stuff, I was like, yeah, he's not going to be in there.
Most successful title. Look at Big Bill and Ricky Starks, tag team champs. Ricky Starks is quicker and Big Bill's the powerhouse.
Just feels like he won't be able to keep up, you know?
Yeah, no.
They're not quite the fit. Yeah, it's fun anyway, and we'll see who they're trying out next because I don't think he's getting in. Yeah, anything you've got before we get to the finish?
It looks like Max Caster's doing this new rap thing. It seems that since the Bang Bang Scissor Gang formed, he can't successfully pull off a rap. It seems he gets to the point where he tries saying Bang Bang Scissor Gang in a rap and he just kind of loses it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes forward. Like, is that going to be the foundation for them splitting?
It might be.
At some point?
It could well be. Anthony Bowen seems all for this team up, but Max Caster, there's moments throughout, and like after the match ends, he was sort of, he looked like he wasn't quite invested in it so much.
So is it going to be the case that Max Caster just leaves?
Maybe.
And the rest of them, instead of being the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, they just revert back to the Bullet Club Gold?
Could be. Who knows? It'll be interesting to watch.
I do have a note about Isaiah, but I can't read my handwriting, unfortunately.
Oh, no! So. That's the way. So with the finish, we had Jay White hitting the switchblade on Willie Mack, pinning him to win, and being probably the last nail in the coffin of Willie Mack's chances of being in Private Party, because he lost the match. Yeah, was pretty good.
Isaiah knocking out or something out 3 of his own. I can't remember. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Something. I think he went to hit the rope, went into the corner, and knocked everyone from his team off the corner. Yeah, I think I remember the moment, but not specifics.
Jay White did say after the match, they give him a mic, and he said that he's got some business to take care of on the big business edition of Dynamite coming up March 13th from Boston, Massachusetts.
Quite interesting.
In which we're going to have the debut of the newest female wrestler on the roster, no doubt, because she is from Boston, and they've already put Boss.
Yeah. Oh, cat.
Ton.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. He was quite cryptic, so we don't know what his business is.
I have no idea. I'm sure we will find out some more on Dynamite this week.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right. So we don't watch the whole of 0 Hour because there's a lot of recappy stuff and things we've already seen. There was a video package from Pac, who is going to be returning soon. It was quite interesting the way they did it. It was like a split personality thing where he was yelling at himself, talking about getting through his problems and
Someone
returning.
send help.
Package.
Please.
I didn't plan that either. Are you proud of me?
Yeah, Pac's coming back, and I'm kind of glad because I think we were talking about Pac not long ago when we were watching Dynamite or Collision or one of the shows because he had an injury.
Yeah.
So it'd be good to see him back.
It would be good. He's drifted off from the public consciousness a bit. So having this this video package sort of reminds people that he's really cool and he's coming back.
Yeah.
Yay! So it'd be cool.
Brits are coming to take over.
Yay! So many Brits.
Let's go.
All right, and then we go to the final match.
I should probably mention that the 2 matches on 0 Hour we did not do predictions for. Well, we did, but in the description, we predicted the Bang Bang Scissor Gang to win, and we got that one correct. For the next match, which Leanne's going to take away,
it's Willow and Kris Statlander, who are accompanied by Stokely Hathaway, who gets onto commentary, and they are fighting Skye Blue and Julia Hart.
For our predictions, we predicted Julia Hart and Skye Blue to win.
Yes, we did.
Will we be right? We shall find out.
We shall find out, and some of you already know.
Yeah.
It was a good match.
Yeah.
It was one of these matches where, I think it's the same for quite a few on this card, where it was just really good. It was constant action throughout.
Yep.
There wasn't necessarily anything like outstanding or strange or funny exactly going in there, but there was nothing negative that I had to say either. I thought it was an interesting dynamic because Skye Blue and Julia Hart, they sort of feel like they are, I know they're not like rankings wise the top, but they're quite dominant in the way they fight and the way they're portrayed, and this match had them very much on the back foot for a lot of it.
I mean, Julia Hart is the champ, so technically she is on top.
The Skye Blue as well, and the team.
Yeah. Well, they're both quite small in stature,
yes,
as compared to someone like Willow and Statlander.
Yeah,
Statlander's tall and she's got bulk mass, and Willow's just bulk.
Yeah, and they really.
That's not a bad thing, obviously. I don't mean that in a derogatory sense, but she's a lot bigger than both Julia and Skye.
But they more so than I think I've noticed before, I guess, with Statlander and Willow using their size advantage to a really effective level, and making it feel quite believable that even though in my head I want Skye and Julia to be on top, it felt believable that the advantage was to Willow and Kris Statlander.
So there was a point where Skye Blue went to hit the code blue, and she went to hit and twirl around. She just hit and was like stopped by Willow.
Yeah,
and it was like,
they're not overselling. But I was rooting for Skye Blue and Julia Hart because of my predictions and because they're really cool.
And I feel that again, we haven't got to the finish yet, but I feel that would be the right way to progress the story forward.
Yeah.
I don't think if Willow and Statlander keep winning, it doesn't further anything, in my mind. Apart
from their own dynamic with Stokely, which, where's that going? I don't know.
Well, the last thing they were trying to do is get Stokely to like Willow and Willow to like Stokely, and that seems to have already clicked. Done that. So what's next?
Now?
And we don't watch Ring of Honor, and I'm assuming a lot of that gets sort of played out in Ring of Honor, so we don't watch the Ring of Honor show because we haven't got time. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Oh, it'll be interesting. Have you got anything to comment on
There was a point where it looked like Julia got knocked loopy in the match somewhere. So, like someone wasn't quite in the right position and she maybe hit her head or just bumped hard, and it kind of looked like she was a bit, a bit out of it.
She definitely was. There was a moment her hands were just like shaking, I think.
Yeah.
But just before a pin attempt, and she sort of didn't react the way that she normally would, I think. But then she rolled down to the outside. I think the ref checked on her.
I know that she has come off a recent injury. I think it was shoulder, but I'm not sure. They haven't really disclosed it officially. She had a slight injury, so whether or not this is related to that, I don't know.
Maybe.
It could be. Obviously, she's been cleared, but maybe it was cleared with observation.
Yeah.
You know? So hopefully everything is fine and
yes,
nothing
I hope so.
untoward happened.
All right, for the finish, Willow hit the Dr. Bomb on Sky Blue and pinned her to win. So Willow and Kris Statlander win.
Boo.
Which means there's likely some championship match somewhere.
Sky Blue's not the champion, though.
No, I mean like the singles, though.
Yeah, but Sky Blue's not the champ, and Sky Blue's the one that got pinned.
And? They beat the team.
If you pin Julia, then you should get a title match.
I'm just going by what the commentators
yeah,
are saying.
it doesn't quite work that way. If there was a women's tag division with the tag belts, fair enough. But there isn't. Okay. Unless you beat the champ, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
In my mind. And yeah, we got that prediction incorrect.
Yeah. It was a really good tag match.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it very much.
Both matches on the pre-show were really good.
Yeah, it's great.
Take note, WWE.
It felt like they could have been part of the real show, but they just didn't have space.
Yeah. There's 9 matches on the show.
No, exactly. All right, so then we come to the main show itself, Revolution, and we begin with the TNT Championship match.
Surprised by that. I figured they would open with like FTR and BCC or maybe the 8-man scramble.
But no, they start as they mean to go on, I suppose. So you've got Daniel Garcia versus Christian Cage, and Christian Cage is accompanied by Nick Wayne, Martha Wayne or Mother Wayne, and Killswitch, as usual. I enjoyed this match as well.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah,
Daniel Garcia continues to shine. He's still, he's not slipping. So it's pretty good. I quite like the touch at the start where you've got Christian holding the belt, like showing he's the champion. Aubrey takes the belt off him, and then Daniel Garcia takes the belt off her and raises it as if like, it's mine now. So that was a nice touch. A lot of confidence from the young man.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. We have some typical shenanigans from Christian Cage.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a Christian Cage match, would it?
No.
Without, shenanigans.
A really well-faked knee injury, which gets the ref's attention.
Was it the ankle? Whose ankle?
Ankle, was it? It was something leg-related.
Because he started going for the ankle lock as opposed to a knee bar.
And so the ref goes over to check on him. Daniel Garcia is coming over like, it's probably fake. And Christian Cage pokes him in the eye.
Yeah. Good old thumb poke.
Good old thumb poke. More shenanigans where the ref's back is turned and Killswitch choke slams Daniel Garcia. But after the pin attempt that follows that fails, Killswitch gets a bit angry. Rage pulls off the shoulder armor that he's got on. Acts like he's going to get in the ring and just start beating up Daniel Garcia, which would have been a disqualification, but that's okay.
Yes.
But Daddy Magic comes down instead and tries to take on Killswitch. It's a bit of a face-off with
he stops
Martha
him.
Wayne.
He does kind of stop him.
And then Killswitch and Daddy Magic fight off back up the ramp up to the back.
Good old Matt Menard.
Yeah. And then anything you've got before we get to the finish?
I really enjoyed the storytelling in this.
Yeah, it was great.
It was just great from start to finish. It was fantastic. It was a fantastic opener.
Yeah, definitely.
Singh was expecting something else, but putting this in their opening slot was actually the right call.
Yes, yeah, I think so too. So Martha Wayne gets the ref distracted, which allows Nick Wayne to attack Daniel Garcia, hanging him on the ropes. After which Christian hits the kill switch and pins him to win. Christian Cage wins and retains.
We predicted Christian Cage to retain, and we both got that correct.
We're doing okay.
Yeah. 2 out of 3 ain't bad so far.
Averaging
66% right.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's see if it continues.
I'm not going to go with percentages all the way down the line because that's going to get really messy.
Definitely. So, for the AEW World Championship and the AEW Continental Crown Championship.
Try again.
Oh. Hang on. Which one is it?
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor World Championship.
Yeah.
And then the AEW Continental.
Yeah.
Continental Crown.
Yeah.
And the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship.
Yeah.
There's too many belts. It's really hard. Sorry. And this is Bryan Danielson versus the defending Eddie Kingston. Yep, another excellent match. I mean, it just keeps getting better, I think. Really technical, hard hitting, non-stop throughout. Is pretty good.
Again, with the storytelling.
Yeah, really good storytelling. So there's a moment where Eddie is chopping Danielson on the apron, and Danielson's like stepping back a bit. He's like staggering back. And for the last chop, he jumps down off the apron. So Kingston's hand just whacks right into the ring post.
That steel post.
It is not padded.
Nope.
That looks painful. And then from there, he's targeting that hand very effectively, which just sort of gives the match a direction and something to follow through. So really good. What have you got? Anything?
It was intense all the way through.
It was
just completely intense. It was nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Oh,
and it goes to show that I'm not a fan of Bryan Danielson, but I can understand why people say he is one of the best in the world.
Oh, yeah.
But then people always sleep on Eddie Kingston, and I don't sleep on Eddie Kingston. I think Eddie Kingston's fantastic.
He is.
And this absolutely showed his worth.
Oh, yeah,
without
for sure.
a shadow of a doubt.
Like counters and just...
As they say, he's a student of the game, and he clearly shows it in this match.
Definitely. So for the finish, Danielson goes for the psycho knee.
Yeah.
To see if I'm saying things right. But Kingston blocks it with the lariat and then hits with a power bomb, transitioning that into a pin.
Yeah.
And he wins.
Kind of stacks him right up high.
Yeah, it's great. I love it when a move just naturally becomes a pin attempt. It just feels really dynamic and natural. So yeah, Eddie retains his 3 belts.
Which we predicted. So we got that correct. But Leanne, what was the stipulation of this match?
It was that if Eddie Kingston wins, Bryan Danielson has to shake his hand. So once the match finished, Kingston... he bows to Danielson as a sign of respect.
Because Eddie has respect.
And then there's a little bit of teasing going on. Bryan Danielson holds out his hand and then pulls it away. And it's like, oh, no, I got you.
Eddie's kind of walking off in a stop, like, yeah, I knew this would happen.
But then he does hold out his hand and Kingston shakes it. And then to sort of solidify that respect, I suppose, Bryan Danielson raises Kingston's hand in victory, which is a nice touch. So it feels like we have got a conclusion. Yeah.
Because obviously this is going to be the last, like, maybe, 6 months now, I'd imagine, of Bryan Danielson's career. They did do the bow thing as well. Obviously the Japanese kind of Bryanson. Bryanson?
Bryanson's a new one.
That's a new one, yeah. Danielson obviously sort of bowed and he kind of, then he left the ring to Eddie and,
Yeah, so it's sort of, they have a bit of a joke, but the respect is genuinely there and it comes through. So it's a really nice moment. Okay, and now we can get on to probably the most confusing match. It was confusing for the first 10 minutes, maybe. The 8-man scramble match.
The all-star 8-man scramble.
8-man scramble.
All-star Dante Martin. All-star.
We have Hook, all-star, probably. Powerhouse Hobbs. Lance Archer, who comes out with Jake the Snake Roberts. Magnus from I've forgotten CMLL. I forgot the letters. Thank you. The Machine Brian Cage, who is accompanied by Prince Nana, all-star. Wardlow, who comes out with Adam Cole. Was it Mike Bennett and Matt Taven?
Yes, the Undisputed Kingdom.
I was getting the Mike and the Matt mixed up. I was like, oh my goodness. But yes, those ones. Then we have Dante Martin and Chris Jericho. I think you could call them. It depends on your definition of all-star, really. But I think they could all fit.
Jericho definitely fits in the all-star.
Yeah. So you're going to say that's it?
Probably.
It depends on the definition. Yeah. It really does.
It really does, yeah.
They're all great talents, for sure.
Oh, yeah, I can't deny that.
This was a really fun match.
But, like, if you're going to go to a casual wrestling fan and go, oh, Chris Jericho, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, I know that name. You go to them and go, Powerhouse Hobbs. They're going to be like, who?
Quite possibly.
Brian Cage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all semantics at the end of the day. But about 10 minutes into the match, we are told what the rules are of the match. That's good. We were told at the start it's not a battle royale, so we had that.
Like people getting thrown over the top rope, and it was like, yeah, this isn't a battle royale. Oh, okay. It's not elimination. Okay. So what the hell is it?
But they didn't mention that it wasn't elimination until this 10 minutes. But essentially it is the first pinfall or submission.
So when they just call it a fatal 8-way, don't call it a scramble, because a scramble, like I mentioned in the predictions.
You know why? Because fatal 8-way sounds terrible. That's why. But yeah, they could have at least made it clear from the start, because it was a bit distracting trying to figure out what was happening when they could have just said it at the start of the match. But I think they thought that it was obvious, but it wasn't. It's fine. It was a really fun match. It was a great opportunity for these guys to just like have some fun and do some wrestling, which is great. Some of the highlights for me was Jericho and Magnus hitting stereo lion salts on Lance Archer.
That was nuts.
It was great. The synchronicity was
seeing as Lance had to be dead center of the ring as well, and Jericho is like what, pushing 50?
Yeah.
For him to still be able to do that lion salt and get that reach, my God.
Crazy. And then interestingly, my other highlight also involves Jericho. I don't have a favorite. Shush. Where he uses, I think it's the liquid from a fog machine.
Oh no, he used the fog machine.
Oh, he used the actual fog machine.
Yeah, he used the fog.
I saw the bottle thing.
Yeah, so what it is, he used the fog machine, but I can't remember who he's spraying it against, but they bulldozed into him and he dropped the machine. The bottle just dislodged. Yeah.
It was Powerhouse Hobbs who was charging at him.
So, because you saw a spray and I thought, oh, fire extinguisher. Wait, what's that bottle on the floor? So my guess is that Hobbs run into him, he lost his footing or something and stumbled into him, and Jericho dropped the machine, because then you see the box of the machine, and then the bottles obviously out on the floor. It's like, what the hell's going on? Yeah.
Couldn't see it properly with the fog, but chemicals in the eyes, probably. That was a fun moment anyways. Got any highlights for you?
I think some of the spots when they were doing the 4 big guys versus each other, and then the 4 and then the 4 small guys versus each other, some of them looked a bit janky. It was a bit obvious what was going on. Dante and I think was it Magnus that were paired off, and they were running the ropes and hitting each other, and Dante Hook goes first and Jericho's or whatever, and it's just like, this looks janky.
They did go out of sync quite a bit.
This just doesn't look good. And then when they stopped doing that BS, it was great.
Yes.
Because it just got chaotic, and there was like, oh, pinfall? No, mate, don't think so. In comes the machine, Brian Cage. Brian Cage trying to do something. In comes Lance Archer. And it was just like, okay, this is great. This is what I wanted to see. Not just 4 guys going, what next? Yeah, you go next. No, you go next. No, then you. And then we're going to run against the ropes, and then you go next. And it's like, oh, God's sake. You're not choreographed. You're not doing synchronized swimming. You're doing pro wrestling.
I think like some of that can be fun, like the lion salts, for example. That was obviously a planned spot. That they had to really synchronize to be able to get that right. But it can easily be overdone, and if you get it slightly wrong, it does make it look obvious that it's not happened right. It's not an easy thing. Like a lot of moves, if it goes a bit wrong, you can pull it back or turn it into something else. But if you're meant to be doing exactly the same thing as someone else, you can't do that, so it just looks, you just know someone's messed up.
Yeah, and it's like Dante runs the ropes, hits the person too early. Hits the person too early, and he's just kind of stood there, and he's like,
now what?
That's kind of what it looked like. He was just like standing there like,
just wait for the next bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Yep. So the finish, we have Wardlow hitting a powerbomb on Dante and pinning him to win. So Wardlow wins, so he gets a championship opportunity then.
Yes, an AEW championship opportunity.
Yes.
We had a 1 in 8 chance of getting this right, and we both got it correct.
Whoop, whoop.
So we both predicted Wardlow to win.
Yay.
And to me, it just kind of makes sense. Obviously, the Undisputed Kingdom's trying to take over.
Yeah, it does make sense. But it was a fun match. It's sort of a nice a nice one to follow the last one.
When we stopped doing that whole 4 on each other all
Yeah.
the time, and then the next 4, and it was like,
Yeah, it's a bit of a whirlwind of stuff happening, which is great. Okay, the next match is for the International Championship. We've got Roderick Strong versus Orange Cassidy. So Roderick Strong, he does come out with the Undisputed Kingdom, but he sends them to the back.
yes.
And we did see on 0 Hour, there was a brief interview with Orange Cassidy and the best friends were there and people. And he at that point said, don't come out. I'm tired of other people getting hurt because of me, so don't come out.
The doc also told Orange that if he didn't tape up his ribs and back, that he wouldn't clear him to wrestle.
So he was heavily taped.
So he was heavily taped.
That just puts a target on you, doesn't it?
Yep.
Then again, everyone knows that he had a bad back at that point, so I guess it doesn't make much difference.
But it's funny because he's not Seth Rollins claiming he's broken his back, right?
Yes. So yeah, a really good match.
Yeah.
And it was really nice actually to see Roderick Strong without interference, like loads of shenanigans happening.
This was all clean. This was all clean, yeah.
Which was great. And unexpected, I think, but it's good. So the highlight for me, I think, was the Roderick Strong. It was a gut wrench, I think, on Orange Cassidy to like lift him up.
Yeah, it's like a gut wrench bomb
and he
onto
just
the top
dumped him
turnbuckle.
on the top turnbuckle. Not seen that before. It looked painful.
Well,
and with the knowledge of the back injury anyway, your back's just bent in half.
Like a fish on the outside of the ring after that.
Yeah, so
that was nuts.
Crazy move. Have you got any highlights or comments?
That
on
was
this?
my main highlight. In terms of the match as a whole, this really to me felt like a Roderick Strong showcase.
Yeah.
Like, this is Roddy Strong. This is what he can do. He's here to stay. Like it, or there's the door.
Yep.
You know, that's what it felt like to me.
But also, like, he doesn't need the Undisputed Kingdom in there. He doesn't have to do eye pokes and stuff. He's just great on his own.
You know what else he doesn't need? Porn stash.
Yeah, the mustache gotta go, dude. It's gotta go. I think there's must be a competition, a mustache contest or something happening.
It's a mustache off.
In AEW right now, and it's gotta stop.
But who's winning, him or Hangman?
Hangman, I think it suits him better.
Yeah.
Although it's making him look like Jake the Snake a little bit.
We'll cover that later.
Yeah. All right, to the finish then. Roderick Strong hits the end of Heartache and pins Orange Cassidy for the win. He's now the new International Champion.
Yeah! Both predicted Roderick Strong to win the belt. And we both got that correct. And it's about time. Like, I like Orange Cassidy, but I do feel he's a bit oversaturated.
Yeah.
He's pretty much on every damn show.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, come on.
Which has been, it's sort of been the gimmick at the moment. But he needs to go have a lie down.
Yeah.
Go like for a spa weekend. Look after yourself.
Well, they need to know, because obviously all the rest of the best friends are injured as well, right? Have them stay off TV for a couple of weeks.
They can all go on a holiday together.
Then come back refreshed.
We can have video packages of their holidays and their antics. It'd be fun.
Put the actual footage of it up on the Tron.
Yeah. It'll be great. And then that can be their new entrance Tron stuff going on. I like it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Because the best friends one just has these random shutterstock shot almost.
People holding hands, yeah.
Stock photographs.
Oh, that's good. So after this match, we have a surprise appearance from Kyle O'Reilly.
It kind of pops out of nowhere and it's like, what the hell?
So Kyle O'Reilly's there. So
Speaking
he
of
was,
stashes.
What was the team they were in before Undisputed Era?
In NXT.
Yes. So he was a team with Roderick Strong previously.
With Adam Cole and Bobby Fish.
So the whole lot. So they're all so happy to see them, and there's all hugs, and then one of the Undisputed Kingdom guys takes his Undisputed Kingdom shirt off and hands it over.
No, it was Bennett. I think it was Bennett.
And Kyle O'Reilly sort of looks at it, and it's like, and then he's not going to put it on. Something's going on. What's he going to do? He's going to lay him out or something. But he just puts it onto Roderick Strong's shoulder and whispers something in his ear.
Yeah.
And walks off. So interesting.
Yeah.
So he's not joining.
Well, we don't know that for certain.
Yet.
We don't know that for certain. Yeah, we don't know that yet.
It might be that he wants to find his own place first, and then he'll join when he's.
Maybe there's some friction with Adam Cole after the whole Undisputed Elite thing was going down.
Yeah.
So maybe he doesn't particularly like Adam Cole at the moment, and they need to hash it out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what it is.
Got some business to take care of. Big business.
I would love to see Bobby Fish come back into AEW. I think he's with TNA at the moment.
Okay.
I'm not 100% certain on that one.
The full-on reunion.
But it would be nice to see Bobby Fish come back in and go full-on Undisputed, and that would be sick. And then you could do Undisputed Kingdom versus the Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be so good. Oh my god.
Oh, maybe it could happen.
Ooh, getting jittery thinking about that.
Ooh, let's get on to the next match before you get too excited.
Whoa, we're a PG show, Leanne.
So this next match
Where are we?
Is FTR, which is Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, versus they don't announce them as Blackpool Combat Club.
No,
they're like two of the main members of Blackpool Combat Club, John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. Yeah. So
one thing, sort of, when we were let's say catching up, when we were watching the Dynamite inclusion, is that we haven't seen Yuta for a while.
No, we haven't.
So I don't know if he's injured or if he's just taking some time off. I don't know.
Hope he's okay.
He might be on Ring of Honor, but it would be weird to put him on Ring of Honor and not AEW.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with Yuta. Just wanted to point that in there, because obviously we've seen the other three members of BCC on this show, but not Yuta.
No, yeah, that's interesting. I can't
remember the last time we saw Yuta. Carry
on. So the John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli come out with Road Warrior style shoulder armor, which was very cool.
I think because with the Road Warriors ones, it was more bulky. It was a lot bigger. This one just looked like a normal American football shoulder, whatever, pads or whatever you want to call it, which was spikes stuck onto it. The Road Warriors ones, obviously they came down the arms and it was strapped on. And,
yeah, It definitely felt like it must be a nod to them.
Yeah, no, it is. It absolutely is. But it was similar. But this was a bit of a toned down version of it, is what it's going at. Road Warriors were always bigger than life.
Yeah,
they're over
spikes
the top,
going over the top of their heads, kind of thing.
BCC are like, yeah, we like spikes. We like the Road Warriors. Yeah, let's just get one of these and stick it. And Claudio had the Swiss flag on it.
Yeah, which is cool. He had some red on it.
It was red and white. Yeah, it was the Swiss flag.
Yeah, some of the little studs were red as well. So he had little details on there, which was pretty cool. There was a couple of moves that were like, is they doing the Doomsday device? It wasn't quite. It was always like a variation of, or something that looked
they did
similar.
They had Mox lift up. I think it was Dax. I'm not 100% on that one. And then Claudio kind of runs up the corner and then jumps into him. It's like Doomsday device, but he uppercuts him instead.
Yes,
and it was like, cool. Ooh, that was cool.
It's like their own spin.
They could call it the Doomsday uppercut.
Right? Yeah, I did really like that.
Or the uppercut of Doom.
Doom, I love that one. Let's do that one. Oh, yeah, that was sort of my main highlight, I think, for this match. Did you have anything specific or any comments?
I felt that the teamwork by both teams, obviously FTR are an established team, they've been for years.
Yes.
BCC haven't really been together for as long, but the chemistry that they had, and the chemistry they had with each other as well, was phenomenal.
It's really good.
This could have fallen by the wayside really hard, or one team could have shined over the other. They both shined really well.
Yeah.
And I really shouldn't be surprised given the 20-minute time limit draw that we had on Dynamite a number of weeks back. But this was, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was great. This BCC, most of the stuff they tend to do is either solo stuff or it's like big group things.
Yes.
So seeing them working as such a tangible two-man tag team, they've got something there.
And you've got to think that if and we haven't come to the finish yet, but if they win this, you've got to think that that's going to bump them up tag team rankings too. Yeah. I haven't seen this week's rankings, so I don't know where they are in the rankings at the moment. So
it'd be interesting to have a look.
Let me try and find out. Carry on.
Yeah. So the finish was quite interesting. So you have Moxley. I think he's got a bulldog. I think
it looked like he was trying to transition into a bulldog choke.
On Dax. Cash,
who's bleeding like a stuck pig, by the way.
He's bleeding.
That was nuts.
He collided with the steel steps.
He kind of went to a shoulder barge or something, and it looked like he hit the ring post and then fell out, and then he may have collided with the ring steps. I don't know whether that came from the post or the steps. It was obviously a blade because it was too thin.
Oh yeah.
If you slapped something like that, you would have split wide open. You know?
Yeah, bruising and everything, but it was
like
brutal. A tap.
It's just because of as they were saying, the blood pressure.
Yeah.
As it goes up, it's just going to spout like a faucet, as you say.
It's such a mess of the ring. So yeah, he's bleeding a lot, and in this, trying to get the bulldog hold from Moxley. Cash is trying to break it up, but Claudio stops him and puts him into his own submission. So you got both of them being submitted in the ring, both of FTR.
Yeah.
And the finish comes because Dax passes out, which he didn't tap.
No.
But he could not continue. So the winners are Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah, Blackpool Combat Club. We predicted BCC to win.
Yeah.
And therefore we are correct.
We are the winners. So far.
I was trying to find these friggin' rankings. They're not easy to find. You'd think they would be easy to find.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Cause I kind of expected them to like flash them up on TV every now and then.
Yeah.
But, you just get like snippets about individuals. There you go. Shall I continue? Or
Yes, yeah, carry on. I'm determined to find these. So
yeah, you find those. And while we start talking about the AEW Women's World Championship match, where we have Timeless Toni Storm, who's accompanied by Mariah May and Luther, versus the virtuosa Diana Perazzo.
So obviously, Thingy comes out with a special entrance.
Yeah,
in a sense.
Toni Storm's old music starts playing, and out comes someone in the old Toni Storm gear. And honestly, it was hard to tell that it wasn't Toni Storm.
I know, right?
She just, it was Mariah May in the gear, and she just carried it so well and just had all the mannerisms down. It was great. So she comes out, sort of pulls down the sunglasses, and then like, oh, okay, it's Mariah May. And then Toni Storm's actual music hits, and out she comes like normal. But it was a cool idea for her.
Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed that.
A nice nod to her past character. Just something to throw people off a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah.
So my sort of highlight, I guess, that I've written for this one is where, well, it's not a highlight. Okay, it's a low light. It's a low light. It was a good match, but there were some janky moments,
yes.
I suppose, and this is one of them where Toni Storm's like rolling out of the ring, and Luther catches her, as he often does.
Yeah.
And then he sort of walks very deliberately to a very specific position on the outside, where they are then leapt onto by Diana Perazzo, and it's like, you made that look so
he's
obvious.
Just stood there, and he's like,
he just walks over, makes sure he's in position.
It's like, come on.
No. You could have like stumbled backwards as you caught her to make it look more natural or something. I know in the moment it's not always easy to get it looking just right. But yeah, it did stand out a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad match at all. But I think there's something about the over the top way that Toni Storm works.
Yeah.
That sometimes makes it just pulls you out of the reality a little bit.
So, just going back to the rankings briefly, the last one I could find is from February 10th. Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli is actually second in the ratings on that one, so they've got to be in line for number one contendership at this point.
Gotta be. Who's top? Does it say?
Sting and Darby Allin's number one, and then Big Bill and Ricky Barks. Ricky Barks?
Ricky Barks? Ricky Starks?
It's because of Big Bill and Ricky Starks, but all the bees tripped me up. So yeah, Big Bill and Ricky Starks, because they lost the tag team titles. So you got to think that was obviously a couple of weeks back. Because of this win by this BCC, you got to think that
they'll go up. We've also got Young Bucks in there somewhere, and we'll see. And it kind of depends on the outcome of the match later on in this show as well. Interesting. You got anything highlights or lowlights about this match?
Slow plotting and too obvious.
Yeah.
Meh.
I enjoyed the character work. I think that's what sort of keeps me in it. But it is that over the top obviousness. There was a moment where Toni Storm had taken a move and was rolling out of the ring to safety. And I just said to you, I feel like she did too many rolls, like more rolls than necessary. And you commented it's because of the over-the-top way that she works. Like, but it just makes it look not
pantomime.
Yeah, that's the one.
And I get that's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but also Diana Perazzo isn't a pantomime character, so when you're putting pantomime and realistic together, you get that mismatch. Yeah.
I don't know what to think about Diana Perazzo. Like, I don't doubt that she's a good athlete and a good wrestler, but I don't know. There's just something that doesn't click.
I think she hasn't earned our attention very much
I think
yet.
maybe, yeah.
So it just needs a bit more from her, and maybe we'll get it.
Maybe that's what it is, yeah.
Maybe. Okay, so towards the finish, Luther distracts the ref while Toni is in a submission hold and is tapping, so the ref does not see the tap. Deanna notices that the ref is distracted, so releases the move, which, I mean, fair enough. But then Mariah May is on the outside, causing a scene, so Deanna goes over to hit her, which is enough of a distraction for Toni to hit Storm Zero and pin Deanna to win. So she retains the World Championship. We
did predict that Toni would retain, and we got that correct.
Wait.
I going into the prediction, I didn't think Deanna Purrazzo was a credible threat to this.
Yeah, like we said in the predictions that she hasn't been there long enough to actually move up the rankings yet. So it was a bit of a strange situation to be in to start with.
Yep.
But there was the friendship thing. I suppose that's done now, maybe. We'll see. Next match. We have Konosuke Takeshita versus Will Ospreay.
Or as Leanne called it earlier, the match of too many letters.
Why is there an A in Ospreay?
Why not?
It's you either have the E or you have the A. You don't need both.
Why is there two E's in your name? You don't need that last E.
If that wasn't there, it would be lean.
No, it wouldn't. It would still be Leanne.
No, it wouldn't.
Leann. Leanne.
Because the silent E changes the sounds of the vowels. That's what it does.
No. Okay.
I love he brings up things I said just to shut me down and do it in an incorrect way. So thanks. Okay. This match was amazing. It was really good. I loved it. The action was constant. The technical ability on show was just like a clinic. There's moves they're doing where you can't imagine how they can possibly move that fast.
I think WWE tends to use this more than AEW. They use it as a showcase match.
Yeah.
You want a showcase match? This is a damn showcase match.
Yeah, for sure. And I honestly, I didn't manage to find any like highlights to write down or specific points because it was just the whole thing was highlight.
Yeah.
There wasn't something you could pick out because it just ran so smoothly from one thing to the next. You can't just isolate a bit because you have to write down everything that happened before and after for it to make any sense.
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched Revolution and you want a match to watch, for sure watch this one.
If you haven't
there might be a couple others, but this is a good one.
If you haven't watched AEW and you're like, well, I want to try watching some AEW stuff, this is the one to watch.
They're great. It's really good. It's amazing.
The one thing that sort of stood out for me,
yeah,
was that top rope brainbuster, which went wrong.
Oh yes.
So Konosuke gets Ospreay up, and it's like, oh, he's going to suplex him, and then he drops, and Ospreay just hits hard back first onto the turnbuckle, and it's like, and he's like, and you could see he's in like pain.
Yeah, he's pointing to his back so the ref can see that there's something wrong.
And it instantly starts going red.
Yeah, it looked rough.
He gets up, obviously carries on the match. In the post-media scrum, because I've caught up on the news since we started recording, he did say that is the most painful thing he's ever suffered in his life.
No.
It's already bruised.
Yeah.
And he said, I've got a bruise all on my ass. Can I show a little bit of it? I'm not going to show my ass, but I'll show you a little bit of it. And apparently the entirety of his back, lower back and ass is just bruised.
I hope he's getting checked out, because that could be something like internal hemorrhaging or something.
I'm sure the doctors are looking after him. Yeah. They've probably sent him to the hospital for evaluation.
But I mean, no wonder he was calling to the ref and saying, like, check it out.
But he said that was the most painful thing he's experienced. Like,
wow.
Damn, dude. And it didn't even look like it went that wrong.
No, it looked like it was changing up the move, and that it's just something painful, like being dropped on the top turnbuckle. It's just similar to that, right?
Yeah.
I part of me thought it was a planned thing, but when you saw the bruise coming up in real time,
that red was just like, and then they zoomed in a bit closer, and like a couple of minutes later, and it's just grazed up and starting to bruise. And it's like, oh my god,
painful.
Oh my god.
So coming to the finish, we've got Will Ospreay hitting a Tiger Driver 91 on Konosuke Takeshita, followed by a hidden blade, and Ospreay pins Takeshita to win. Whoop, whoop.
Oh, spray. Oh, spray.
Oh, spray. Don Callis is very happy with how it's all gone. He takes full credit for everything, obviously.
Of course he does.
And then we have another surprise.
Yeah.
From
which I did kind of talk about in the predictions as well, to be fair.
Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah.
So he was part of I forgot.
United Empire.
United Empire. I should write this stuff down. Thank you. United Empire.
You can tell who does the research here, folks.
You can tell who watches more of the product than I do. I'm watching that. I'm not a fake wrestling fan. I'm just a poorly educated wrestling fan. It's fine. We're getting there. So yeah, Kyle Fletcher was part of that faction with Will Ospreay. So he turns up and they hug and it's nice.
It looked quite tense at the start, and they were like,
yeah,
oh god, they're gonna hit each other, and then they're just like an embrace.
Hug it out. But while they are hugging, then it's announced that the two of them are going to have a match on Wednesday. On
Dynamite. On the new look Dynamite.
So that'd be interesting.
I don't know what to think about the logo just yet, but we'll see. And it looks a lot more colourful, those lines that go behind both guys. Look very yellowy and kind of colourful. And it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this.
As long as it's not rainbow, we're fine.
But they did the pastel-y kind of rainbow paint explosion things originally, so...
That's like on a black background.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
So
yeah,
we've got a couple of days to wait. Yeah, that was for me. Wow, that potentially could be a match of the year candidate for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Like holy crap,
it's just
dude.
constant. It's great.
Awesome, and it just goes to show why Will Ospreay is one of the absolute best in the world. I almost made us non-PG.
Okay, and for me then we've got banger after banger. So the next match is for the AEW World Championship. So we've got Swerve Strickland, accompanied by Prince Nana, versus Hangman Adam Page, versus the current champion Samoa Joe.
Alien. Whose house?
Swerve's house. We've got a good old dance troupe there for Swerve's entrance.
That's pretty cool there.
Prince Nana with the dancing with the girls. They're having a good time. It was nice.
Swerve with his absolutely ginormous hood.
It's like it's proper lion's mane thing. It's huge. It's so cool. Some of the highlights for me, I guess, I'll always love when Samoa Joe does a very casual walk away to avoid a dynamic move.
Was it Swerve? I think he dodged in this one.
I believe it was Swerve. I think it was a drop kick sort of thing he was doing, and Joe's just like. Just so casual and slow. It's just walking away. So that was just great. So there were some shenanigans. Hangman Adam Page is like gone completely crazy at this point.
Well, yeah. Was his title card completely lost it or something? Or?
Completely lost it. Yeah, I think it was.
But then it's a triple threat. So is it shenanigans? Because who are you going to disqualify? Right?
It felt like shenanigans because the amount of refs that went down.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
So we had the ref is counting a pin that I think Swerve had a pin on Joe.
Yeah, that's right.
The pin, Joe kicks out, and then Hangman Adam Page pulls the ref out, just like pulls him right out of the ring from like halfway across.
I get the feeling that Joe wasn't meant to kick out, and Hangman was a little bit late.
It probably was late. He was like, just lean into it. So he pulls him out, and he's just attacking him on the floor.
That doesn't do anything bad to Joe because it makes him look credible and look like he's still in the fight anyway.
Yes, very true. And then he gets the championship belt, and Hangman does, and is attacking Swerve with it. A second ref comes out because Hangman
I think it was Bryce.
Goes for the pin. And then there's no ref because
Paul Turner's down.
The pin.
Yeah,
wrecked the ref.
Was it Bryce that came out second, or was it Regensburg?
I think Bryce came out second.
Yeah.
Yes, so he comes out, and then after like some spots, and I think there was a pin attempt. Hangman Adam Page just starts punching him, just punching the ref.
Yeah,
just
down the floor,
on the ground.
It's like, what's going on?
So a ref bump's one thing. This is too far.
That wasn't a ref bump. That was a ref pummeling.
Yeah. So there are some fines on the horizon.
I think he knows the EVPs. That should be fine.
Yes, interesting. So yeah, we really saw
the
his
elite
true
vice
colours.
president, right?
But Joe was amazing as usual. Swerve was great and is
Not bad for someone that
gone.
WWE wanted to put out of pasture.
Yeah, the storytelling in this was brilliant.
Yeah.
Have you got anything you'd like to say before the finish?
That was awesome.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah. we won't continue. So, Samoa Joe gets Hangman Adam Page in the Coquina Clutch. Is that right?
They keep calling it a rear naked choke, so I'm wondering if Coquina Clutch has been abandoned because it might be what they use in WWE.
Okay.
I'm not 100%.
I've just learned how to say it.
I know. It's fine. Could call it that. It's fine. But they kept calling it a rear naked choke, which is like...
naked choke. Doesn't sound as good.
No.
But yeah, that one. And you can just see Swerve just sort of getting himself back up, and he's getting ready to interrupt the move, and then Hangman Adam Page taps out.
Yeah.
And
troll.
So Joe retains, but it's interesting because in a triple threat, this kind of match, if you're in a submission move, you hold on that little bit longer because the other person wants to break it up.
Yeah.
So he wasn't in it for a short amount of time, but it wasn't like as long 15, as other people
20
have
seconds,
been.
Maybe.
But you would think if he wanted to win this match, he would have held on until he passed out because there's that every chance that it could get broken up.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He tapped out. And
And
Swerve was very upset. not a happy bunny.
Nope.
So yeah, the question is whether the tapping out was to just get out the move, or if it was specifically to stop Swerve having another chance at winning.
I think it's that. One thing I put in my notes is that we haven't seen the last of Page and Swerve. Absolutely not. But then I don't quite know how they're going to get to that final blow-off point. What they've already done a Texas Death Match. You would think that would be the last match, but what's bigger than that? Maybe Exploding Barbed Wire Death Match. Maybe.
Yeah. There's only so far you can escalate.
Steel cage. That's less in my mind of a threat than a Texas Death Match.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going to go with this, but it's definite that we're going to get Hangman Page versus Swerve for at least one more time, and I'm not upset about
that. No. Yeah, Joe retains anyway.
Yeah. We did choose Joe to win in our predictions, retain the title, so we got that one correct as well.
Whee.
Doing really well. We've only got one wrong, that's fine.
Great.
That's very unusual for an AEW show.
That is very unusual. Okay, we have the one bit of filler we've got is the announcement that on April 21st, we're getting a new pay-per-view.
Yeah.
AEW Dynasty. Don't have any further details, but sounds good. So it's in about 7 weeks.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks after Mania. Mania's 5 weeks away.
Yeah. So
yes, that's a rough estimate.
Yeah, it's still quite a nice gap between.
The problem is that between Dynasty and Double or Nothing, there'll probably be 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And between Double or Nothing and Forbidden Door, there'll probably be 4 weeks.
That's funny when it's going to get rough.
I'm hoping and obviously we got WWE in between as well. I'm hoping that there's not one in July, because then August will have All In.
Yeah.
And then, so that'll be the last weekend of August. First weekend of September is All Out, so they have the 2 weekends back to back. So yeah, there is rumors there's going to be 9 pay-per-views this year from AEW. So they're building up.
Yeah. As long as they know when to stop.
They probably will end up being 1 a month at this rate in the next maybe 2 years.
Oh, we're getting less time.
But it's fine, because if WWE keeps going on the way it's going, then we're just going to stop covering that.
Yeah, we'll have to make our next stipulation as to whether we're going to stop doing WWE stuff or not. Anyway, it is time for your favourite segment.
My favourite segment?
Their favourite segment.
Will Ospreay? Oh, right, okay.
It's time for Leanne's Signs of the Pay-Per-View. Leanne's Signs of the Pay-Per-View.
Get the plat out of here.
Get the plat out. There were a lot of signs. This kind of event is going to be a lot of signs, mainly because of Sting's final match. There's a lot of Sting signs. But there were a lot of others as well, so I've only put one Sting sign in my list. The top 3. In third place, it's actually a pair of signs, so joint third, I suppose. There was one sign that said, Christian is my dad, and a sign right next to it that said, Christian is not my granddad. So obviously a father-son pairing with differing views on Christian Cage. Yeah, I quite like that one.
Yep.
Second place, Stinger, I hardly know her. I knew that would get that reaction from you. They can't even see it. Head in the hands, you know it's good. You know it's good. Stinger, I hardly knew her. And in first place, Don Callis is period cramps personified. You ladies, any ladies watching? I don't know if any ladies are watching. You know.
Fact.
You know. Yeah, I thought that was quite creative, and yeah, that was Leanne's sign to the pay-per-view. Leanne's signs out of the pay-per-view.
Get the plate out of here.
Oh, there's some good signs. There were some I didn't keep on my list, but ooh, good stuff. And after that, guess what?
What? It's time for the main event. Yes! Guns up.
Something like that. Who knows? So this is for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, and this is Sting's last match. So it's a big one, and I'm so glad they did it last. We talked in our predictions about this being just perfect for a final match on the show, and they did it. So nice one. Well done for listening, those people watching.
Tony Khan clearly watched our prediction video. Like, these guys are onto something.
It clearly wasn't already the plan. So we've got the Young Bucks, Nicholas and Matthew Jackson, versus Darby Allin and Sting. We have Ric Flair as well, who's out sitting down, which is fine. He comes out and it's great. And then they say, and our special guest timekeeper, which was a surprise, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
I was shocked by that, yeah.
So he comes out, and then him and Rick go out to the side, and Ricky goes to the timekeeper's area, and Ric Flair goes and sits in a chair on the other side. I wondered why they didn't put him on commentary or give him some role.
Oh, don't give it.
No.
I
don't know.
You've not seen something. You've not seen what happens when Ric Flair gets an open mic.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But it felt like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat got a role, and Ric Flair just.
The last time Ric Flair had an open mic in WWE, which promote one of the 2K video games. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He had a few drinks beforehand. He train wrecked the entire thing and got Jim Ross fired because of it.
Oh.
That's why you don't give Ric Flair an open mic.
Fair enough. Just give him a chair. He's old enough. He can just sit down. So there was, before Sting's entrance, he had a bit of a video package. It's like in an old theatre, and he sat in the middle of this theatre watching sort of clips from his career, from his time in wrestling.
Clips and some photographs, because we couldn't see any WCW footage.
Yes, thanks. There we go. It was really nice to watch, and part of me was wondering whether he knew what was going to be in that film reel before he sat down to watch it. They had his reactions.
I reckon Darby Allin had a hand in that.
Probably. He's so good at the filmmaker.
Yeah, but not only that, but he's a Sting fan as well. And he's guaranteed to be like, right, we need to put this, we need to put that.
Yeah, definitely. So it showed all the stuff from before, and as well as his sort of run through AEW, which is really nice to see. And then we get 2 Stings coming out from different eras, which is really cool, before the real Sting comes out. So it's Sting's sons are there in the different era costumes and makeup.
So the one from the surfer gimmick, as they call it. Bleach blonde hair with and we forgot to mention this actually during the event, Scramble, Brian Cage had the same makeup on.
He did.
And he had the scorpion on his tights.
A lot of the guys had scorpions somewhere on there.
Daniel Garcia had that jacket.
Very cool.
But yeah, the one kid had the it's not the full face paint, it's just over the eyes and down the cheeks.
Yeah, so it was really sweet. And then Sting comes out, and all 3 of them head to the ring.
But the other son had the Wolfpack red NWO type makeup.
It's cool. Darby Allin starts the match off by...
Boy, does he start it off. My God.
Diving to the outside on top of the Young Bucks before the bells.
But at the same time, Sting's thrown his trench coat out and he smacks one of the Bucks in the face as well.
I didn't notice that bit. I think I was still typing.
So not only did they get Darby Allin, they also had a leather trench coat.
And then chaos ensues.
Oh, jeez.
What a match. I feel like they just said to Sting, What do you want? What have you like always wanted to do? What kind of things do you want to have in this match that you're not going to get a chance to do again? And he says ladders and glass.
Ladders, tables, chairs, and glass. Oh my.
There's so much. And you had the Suns were beating the Young Bucks up. They just like joining
some
in.
really shoddy looking stinger splashes.
Like, oh, they tried.
Yeah.
They got a chance. They had a go. It's nice. They might not ever be wrestlers, but it's nice for them to be involved, and more than just wearing the costumes as well. They actually did get involved. But yeah, the glass. Ooh. So the main spot affected, I suppose, was Darby Allin sets up a ladder. Beforehand, I guess, they set up 6 chairs facing each other and laid this pane of glass over the top, this like frosted glass. I don't know. We've seen one being smashed by a baseball bat already.
And it didn't give easily, so that one I don't think was gimmicked.
It was like the second smash went to pieces.
Sting goes to swing for Nick, I think it was Nicholas, and he misses, and he hits the glass, and it just goes, boom, and he's just like, poof, he hits it again, and just...
Yeah, crazy. So,
like, I honestly, when that glass hit, I thought Stone Cold was about to walk out.
It's the same sound. So this glass is there. Darby Allin sets this massive ladder up in the ring near
huge.
it, and we're like, oh my goodness, what's he doing? And then he grabs, I think it was Nicholas.
It was, yeah.
It was, and rams his head into the steel steps a few times. Then he leaves him on the steel steps and goes to climb the ladder. And I'm thinking, what is happening right now?
I guess it's because he can't risk dumping him on the glass in case he just breaks.
But he could like set him up in front of it or something. It felt like he wouldn't have known that Nicholas was going to be in place for the glass. But I don't know, maybe I'm just reading too much into it. It was a fun match. But anyway, Darby goes to coffin drop onto
Was it
Nicholas.
A coffin drop or a senton?
Oh, it might have been.
I'm not entirely
I
certain.
know, I just know he went back first. It was definitely, he definitely went back
Because if he's
first.
going coffin drop, he wouldn't have been laying the way he was. I reckon it was a senton.
Senton? That one.
Because he landed with his head pointing towards the ring.
Ah, you're right.
But if it was a coffin drop, he would have landed with his head away from the ring.
I think I was too busy cringing.
Yeah, oh god, I know. Jesus.
So he goes to do this move. Matthew Jackson pulls Nicholas Jackson out of the way where he got himself in the way. It was just fine, don't worry about it. And Darby just hits that glass full force himself and rolls over, and immediately his back is just like sprouting blood pools. It was always rough. There's a lot of blood. The doctor comes down, has to look after him. I think they got a bit of bandaging. I'm not sure.
I think they taped his back up because he didn't have that. When he got up, he had
had
black
some
strapping on his
tape.
back and around his stomach.
I guess probably checked for any like major bits of glass stuck in
Maybe
him.
that's where the worst bit was. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, even when he got in the ring afterwards, he was just covered in
It was
blood.
nuts.
Oh, it's crazy.
But he was out for a good 10 minutes out of this match.
Yes.
But then it gives Sting a chance to shine.
It does.
And be the priority focus of the match.
Yeah. Rough. That landing. You just know, it just the way it shattered, all those pieces, and a piece we think hit Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah, because he's got like blood
face.
there under his eye there.
Yeah. So then later on, when they've got a piece of glass in the ring and smash that, and it's just flying everywhere, I'm like, people in the crowd are getting glass in their face. Oh no! But I'm sure it was fine.
I don't care if it's gimmick or not. I've had issues with glass where I've gone through a pane of glass and it's not fun.
It's still, at the end of the day, it is a solid piece of something, and it's gonna hit someone.
Yep.
And we can see it makes people bleed. So yeah, it's pretty rough.
I love that when Darby did hit Jim Ross, the instant is his favourite line. But there's someone sitting at home going, "Oh, he knows how to fall. How do you fall into that?"
No way. And the chairs as well. He's gonna have made contact with the chairs that were holding the glass up.
Yep.
Ouchies. Okay. At some point, the Young Bucks try and pick up the championship belts to attack people with, and Ricky, the Steamboat, gets involved and tries to stop them, which I thought was quite fun. And you were saying, like, there's no DQ, let him do it.
Yeah.
But also, Ricky is there to support Sting, so kind of doesn't want Sting to get hit with the belt, so I get it. I get it. So he tries to stop them, but they still get in the ring with the belt, and Ric Flair...
Well, they super kick him as well.
Yeah, he does get a super kick.
Was that on the... No, that might have been after, actually.
It might have been after. I think it was after, because after something else happens. So Ric Flair jumps in the ring, and he is shielding Sting. He's just like lying over his body.
No.
Don't hit him. And then gets quite a big super kick.
Double
to
super
the
kick,
face.
yeah.
Poor old Ric Flair. It looked like it connected. You could see his face just like mush. So yeah, that was fun. And then Steamboat takes the super kicks after that.
Yeah,
so,
he's up on the apron at that point.
I mean, Ric Flair said he wanted to be involved. And at least he had a role.
Here's to you.
Human Shield.
Super kick party.
So yeah, I mean, there was so much else that happened in the match. This is another one, especially if you're a Sting fan. If you're a Sting fan, I'm sure you already watched it, regardless. But it's another thing that sort of showcases what Sting is, and also the love that all those other wrestlers have for him in the effort that they put into this match. It's just something great. It's a whirlwind, so much going on, a lot of blood, mainly from one person. And yeah, that's what I've got until we get to the finish.
I actually forgot to write any notes.
Yeah, I mean...
But yeah, you pretty much covered it, yeah.
Yeah, there's so much. And I'm sure there's stuff that people out there will be saying, why didn't you talk about this? I'm like, because I was too busy writing about the things that I did see. I probably missed a lot.
There was so much.
I'm tempted to go back and watch this match again.
It's like the double super kicks in the ring, and Sting's like, Doosh! And he just kind of...
Oh, the eyes.
And it's almost like it's almost like the Terminator.
Yeah.
Or something like RoboCop, and it's just like, boom! Or the Undertaker
effect.
even. Like the Undertaker. You know, when the Undertaker's laying down, and all of a sudden you just, boom, he just sits upright. It felt, it was almost like that.
Yeah,
and it was
definitely.
nuts.
It's crazy. You just, that felt good. Okay, so Darby Allin hits a coffin drop on
he's crawled his carcass back up at that point.
Yes, Matthew Jackson. Sting puts the Scorpion Death Lock on Matthew Jackson.
I think, did he hit the Scorpion Death Drop first?
Maybe.
Then the coffin drop, and then the Scorpion Death Lock, I think.
Possibly. Yeah, I might have just gone... I went from the coffin drop.
Yeah, I think that's how Matthew was on the floor first,
yeah,
I think.
I think so. I think you're right.
So there was a lot going on, and there was a lot of Scorpion Death Drops.
Yeah, Matthew Jackson then taps out to the Scorpion Death Lock, so Sting and Darby retained the championships.
Which we're surprised about, because we figured the Young Bucks would take it. I'm glad they didn't. If I'm honest, especially after seeing that and seeing how much, like there was that point where Sting was up the ladder and he looked like he had, I think it was Matthew Jackson on the table, and he was going to climb up the ladder, and then Matthew Jackson just goes and just takes him and slams him through the table, and the table just goes, it's like, oh my god, you know, he's like 65 years old, and he's taking bumps like that.
Oh, I know.
And there was the one up on the ramp where I can't remember what kind of move it was. I think it might have been like a Blue Thunder Bomb kind of thing, and he was off the stage through two tables, and obviously Sting was out for that point, which is where they led into the glass spot with Darby Allin as well. But it was just chaos. It was nuts, and you just know that Sting was like, "Let's just go full tilt, balls out, let's go,
just do it."
And that's exactly what it was.
It was nice. It wasn't the result we expected.
No,
it's partly because it raises so many questions now of what happens to those championships. Is like Sting gonna choose someone to join Darby and stay in his place? Or I don't know.
So
anything could happen.
After the after the show, the press conference, they had the thing after the show with Sting in the ring, thanking all the fans. And
it was so good. Really nice. They had the whole of the locker room came out onto the stage, and
I'll admit I did get emotional in this match.
Me too.
Like, I've been a Sting fan since like '92. And whilst I didn't follow his career as much through WCW, because I didn't really watch WCW at that point, as soon as he hit TNA, and then WWE, and then AEW, I've been like Sting all the way. Yeah. And I've always liked Sting since '92. And it's like, this is great, and I've always meant to go back, and I'm going to start watching WCW back again, because I did start at one point. And I've seen a lot of the legendary matches from the late 80s and early 90s with Ric Flair and Harley Race and all of the legends, you know, that 45-minute time limit Troy talked about with Ric Flair. I've seen that match, and it's crazy. It's so good. But it's like, you do get emotional, and it's like, 32 years I've been supporting Sting. Yeah. You know, and he's been wrestling for 38. 38-year career.
Yeah.
Incredible.
They did show some very emotional fans, like crying in the crowd. It's like, Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was great. And they had Tony Khan came out and thanked Sting.
Yeah.
And Tony
This was
Schiavone
after
did
the
it.
pay-per-view. You can check out the footage on YouTube. It's on the AEW YouTube channel.
But
that's what we got. Yeah. So after the press conference thing afterwards, Darby Allin didn't come out and go, look, I'm in the back against Stitch Stubbish, where you guys know I'm all fine. I'm good. And the doctors are going to be clearance on the 27th of March. We're taking extended leave to go climb Mount Everest.
Oh, cool.
So I think they're going to vacate the titles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So in terms of that, Darby Allin has been cleared to wrestle because he's not wrestling this week on Dynamite, as far as I'm aware, but they've announced. And this is why earlier in the video I was like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
First time ever match at Big Business Dynamite.
Okay.
Darby Allin versus Switchblade Jay White.
Ooh.
That's going to be insane.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh.
Nice. So they'll probably do a tournament then for the
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Cool. That could be fun.
They got a lot of good teams. So.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Yeah, cool.
Good stuff.
All right. So, in terms of our predictions, we only got 2 matches wrong. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 9 correct, 2 wrong.
That's not bad.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
You know? So, I know I watched our WWE content as well. For the Elimination Chamber, I did give the percentages of the in-ring stuff.
Yes.
If you include the pre-show, it's 39%.
39% of
in-ring
wrestling, in-ring action, yeah.
for WWE Elimination Chamber. For this show, it was 5 hours long, which is 300 minutes. We had 175 minutes and 80.8. That's actually probably 176-ish. To 59%.
59% in-ring action.
In-ring action. Obviously, the Sting thing took a little bit.
Yes.
There was obviously the Bryan Danielson, Eddie Kingston thing there, but that includes the pre-show, I might add.
Yes.
Okay.
Where there's all the interviews and bits.
If I'm paying for this, like if I'm paying for Elimination Chamber, I am mega annoyed. If I'm paying for this and the show that I got with this, I'm ecstatic. I'm over the moon. I'm like, take my bills.
I mean, you said it's like.
Obviously we did pay for it. You know what I mean? 59.
It felt like more than that.
It does. It always does.
Because of the intensity of the action, it felt like more than that. Because I was like, it's over half, but I would have thought it would be like 60, 70%. I was close to 60.
And I think during the reactions with Elimination Chamber, I did say that it'll probably be 60 or thereabouts. And I'm not just 1% off.
Far off.
Because of the Sting thing, because of the build-up Sting, because of the special entrance, because of the end and the farewell. That's what takes away part of that. Usually it's the match goes in, it finishes 2 minutes before the end of the show. This was probably 5, 6, 7 minutes before the end of the show.
The thing is, that's all meaningful. The only bit of filler that I would count as it wasn't lending itself towards the matches. This the recaps
the Dynasty announcement,
with the Dynasty announcement. And obviously the 0 hour stuff, which we only really include because we know they put great matches on in the 0 hour, and that makes
that 12-man tag was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was. So interesting.
So that and I said I was going to do it, and that's So they've pretty much nearly doubled.
Yeah.
By adding an extra half hour of actual footage of actual time, you know. Okay. Overall, what did you think of this pay-per-view as a whole?
It was really good. It did feel a bit long.
Yeah.
I had my cup of tea like 2/3 of the way through, kind of thing. But
that was during the Toni Storm Down Peraza match from that.
It was. But I guess it's almost tiring in like we said, the intensity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're having to pay attention to so much, and I know I've missed loads of stuff, but there's so much happening. Trying to take it all in does wear you out a bit. But you come out, especially after that last match, just feeling, you know, you've got those emotions associated to these wrestlers and to the show as a whole. So you just end up feeling satisfied. A bit sad in this case.
Yeah. I definitely felt emotional.
But you've got those memories, those like recaps, and seeing all the respect that everyone in that locker room had for Sting. It just leaves you with that warm fuzzy. You get the warm fuzzies.
And I think we touched on this during the predictions video, is that WWE weren't willing to play ball and allow the footage to be used or even comment on Sting or nothing. And that's to me, it's not only sad, it's disrespectful. Yeah. Like I did see someone comment, well, WWE already had their farewell thing. They put him in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, they forced him to retire. Mm-hmm. Okay, now whether or not he could have gone at that particular point in time, just like Joe, And I said this when we were watching it, that the two main events of this show, the champions going in, Sting and Samoa Joe, both of them are title holders, are both wrestlers that were put on the shelf by WWE.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
know?
True. Yeah.
And I think it's just kind of disgraceful and disrespectful to Sting to not allow that footage.
Yeah.
Like the stills that they had of Sting in the Wolfpack makeup, or Sting versus Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of them might have been from the last Nitro episode. That was probably from some of their personal collections.
Yeah, expect
you know? So WWE can't go, well, you can't use that. Well, yeah, I can, because I own this photograph. I took this photograph. This is my photograph.
Yeah,
or this is my family, or whatever. That's how the only way they could get around using it, you know. And even so, that after they went off the air with the YouTube thing, he even said, you know, my sons are here. This one's dressed up like my early sort of late 80s, early 90s look. This one's dressed up as my Wolfpack days, and I can say that because I'm not on the air anymore.
Yeah,
that's the exact wording he used, because they would probably get sued by WWE if they mention NWO Wolfpack.
Yeah,
even though WWE technically didn't own that when that was actually happening in the mid to late 90s, because that was a WCW product, and they've never acknowledged the Wolfpack on WWE TV since they bought WWE, and it just makes me sick.
Yeah,
it really does make me sick. It is.
It's all money grabbing. Anyway, yeah.
Let's we usually go most liked match first, but we're gonna flip the script on this one.
Yes.
What was your least enjoyed match?
The Women's World Championship.
Women's World Championship, absolutely, and it was actually the shortest match on the card.
Oh, interesting.
Including the pre-show matches.
Okay.
Yeah, and yet it felt really long.
They could have almost swapped that with Willow and Kris Statlander versus Skye Blue and Julia Hart. And
it would have been a better match, yeah.
There we go. It's a championship match.
So. Okay, so what was your most liked match?
I have to say Sting's final match.
Yeah,
I do. There were some amazing matches in here. The AEW World Championship one and Konosuke Takeshita versus Will Ospreay were so good. But I think, like I said in the predictions, I think it's partly the emotional value of it. Has really put that at the top.
Yeah.
And those glass things, I've never seen that before, the glass spots. I probably don't want to see them again.
Closest we've had to that, I think, was pre the first Double or Nothing. It might have been the first Double or Nothing, was when Moxley suplexed Kenny Omega through that glass table.
Yeah.
That was the closest we've had to that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it takes that spot because of the emotional value and just... It's the last time I'm ever going to see Sting wrestle, so it's got that. And
I'm really glad that they did sort of circle back around to that. Where obviously he came out and they started off and they had this AEW music come in, and then he had the Sons walk in, and then the other Son walk in, and then it cut, and then Metallica Seek and Destroy, and I'm like, oh, thank you, Tony Khan, you were doing this right. And like all the WWE fans who bitch about AEW will be like, okay, and I've seen a lot of them in the last couple of weeks alone. They're doing Sting's retirement right because they have absolutely nailed every aspect of this. Yeah. And if I'm going for storyline, this is absolutely my favorite match on the card.
Yeah.
For that emotional factor, for the storyline factor, for the combination of everything. This is Sting's last match.
Yeah.
It's the last time we see him in this role. Whether or not he becomes something backstage, he has already said in the post-conference thing, he doesn't want to be an agent because that's not really his style. He doesn't want to be a manager because that's not his style. But they're talking.
Yeah.
So there might be something.
Yeah.
So we might not ever see Sting on TV again.
No.
You know? No. If I'm going for wrestling, absolute sort of down to just bell to bell, no story, just two guys in the ring or three guys, depending on that. For me, Konosuke Takeshita and Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I can see that.
And this shows me exactly, because I've been watching New Japan, and it just reminds me, like, New Japan is shot very differently from Western American style wrestling, and it just seeing Ospreay in this environment again, and with this massive crowd, 16,000 plus, with potentially millions watching or hundreds of thousands of views buys at home, and it just shows Will Ospreay just literally went, "Yeah, I'm here. What are you gonna do about it, bruv?" You know. So if I'm going for wrestling ability alone, Will Ospreay, Konosuke Takeshita.
Good stuff.
Cool.
Wow.
All right, Leanne, what's next?
Oh, what is next?
What's the next pay-per-view or PLE?
I think, is it the AEW one? No, I don't know.
It
is
Mania.
I should have known
in about 5 weeks.
Wow, that's crept up. Okay.
WrestleMania will be our next wrestling video.
Is it going to be the biggest two-night wrestling event ever?
I don't think they've said that this year yet, so let's just touch some wood. Yeah, so that'll be our next wrestling-related video.
Yes.
And we'll obviously have many other things in between.
Yeah, check it out.
But yeah, take it away, Liam.
Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you so much. Please like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Follow us on socials. Our link tree is in the description below. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or X, whatever. So yeah, that'll take you to there. We put coming soon stuff up every Monday, so you know what's happening in the week. And that's where we will let you know if things are changing or if anything's happening. So yes, check us out there. Talk to us in the comments or on the social medias. Let us know what your favorite Sting moment is. Yeah, we like to talk to people, so yeah, join in. Yeah.
Cool.
Great. I think that's it.
Yep.
So we'll see you, if not before, we'll see you in our WrestleMania predictions. Until next time.
Thank you, Sting.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bullet Club.